What's up, everybody? I'm Brian Sampson from Dunking with Wolves, coming at you with another Brian's Breakdown. For today's video, I'm going to break down Minnesota's offense and a lot of the nice things that they did against the Dallas Mavericks. They had a lot of really nice movement off the ball and a lot of setups where guys were going different directions, false motion to set up some really nice sets and some nice plays. So that's what I'm going to highlight in this episode. Before I dive into that, however, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to this YouTube channel, give this video a thumbs up, and also if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter at Brian Sampson NBA. So let's jump right into it. All right, this first set that I want to highlight is a lot of good ball movement by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and off ball, their guys are moving great. Even though it ends in an air ball, it's one of those possessions that makes every man in the defense work because of all the movement. So it starts out here with Butler coming off a pin down screen by Wiggins and Towns. So Teague drops it off to Butler there. And then Wiggins, after he sets the pin down screen, is going to come up off the weak side of the court. And Gibson, who was originally set up to look like he might screen Wiggins' man, pops up to set a ball screen onto Jimmy Butler. And so then Butler pops it out to Wiggins. Wiggins catches it, and then Towns right here is setting a ball screen. Even though Towns doesn't do a great job of setting that screen, the design is nice. And then Wiggins comes off the ball screen. He has a couple of looks here. He could skip it to Teague in the corner, pop it back up to Towns up top, who's popping off the ball screen, or pull up for the jumper. He decides to pull up, and even though he airballs it, it's just a really nice action set by the Timberwolves. Alright, I do want to highlight this one defensive lapse by the Timberwolves, even though they had a great night overall. But this one aspect where communication lapses just for a second ends up in a Dennis Smith Jr. layup. So it starts out with some good movement by the Mavericks as they swing it to Dennis Smith Jr. here. Dirk Nowitzki then is going to set a ball screen on Teague, and both him and Gibson do a great job of communicating. Teague fights over the screen, which is key here, and quickly recovers. The ball's then dropped back to Nowitzki, who's going to look weak side to see if there's anything going on over there. It's pretty well covered up by the Timberwolves. So Nowitzki then drops it back to Dennis Smith Jr. and sets another ball screen, and this is where the issues occur. Gibson does a great job hedging right there. You see him jump out high, and then he thinks Teague is recovered, which he is, but then Gibson accidentally sets another screen on him. Gibson turns his back on the ball handler, which is always a no-no. You always want to be able to see ball and man. And Dennis Smith Jr. then takes advantage of that just one little momentary lapse and ends up getting a bucket for 2 points at the rim. Here's some really nice action by Minnesota, and this is some of that fake action that I was talking about earlier. And even though it's basic stuff, it's really a nice design, and it ends up in a missed shot, but it's an open look for Jamal Crawford and one that he'll make more times than not. And so it starts out here with everything being purposeful, a lot of movement as far as Jamal Crawford cutting across the whole court, Shabazz starting in one corner, then cutting to the other. That's all has a purpose. And what it ends up doing is it's a horns look in the end. So Crawford has the ball here. You can see Butler and Towns there. That's the horns where they're set up like that. And so Crawford can go either way. Typically, he's going to go off of Towns, and that's what he decides to do here. So after Towns sets that ball screen, he dives to the rim, and then Butler slides over, and he's going to pop. So that gives Crawford either one of three options: to shoot it, to jump it off to Towns on the roll, or to pop it back to Butler, or he can look to the corner, because if the corner guy helps, that typically means that his man's going to be open. It's just a lot of nice movement by the Timberwolves. The last play I want to highlight here is a really nice set by Minnesota, and one that they've run a couple of times this year, and it ends up in a Towns 3. And I think I highlighted this before, but it's just crazy how athletic and awesome Towns is to be able to come off the screen and knock this down. And so this is some more of that false motion that I was talking about, and the false motion here is the ball screen set by Taj Gibson. And so you can tell he's not really into it because he knows that's not the play. And so that ball screen's set up there, but while he's doing that, Towns is coming off the backside off a pin down screen by Andrew Wiggins. And so Wiggins does a great job on that screen to make contact with Towns' man. And Towns comes off it into the corner, catches and shoots with the guy right in his face, which is just beautiful as he drains it. This is an awesome concept by the Timberwolves, and one that they'll continue to come back to as the season progresses. There you guys have it. Minnesota is really clicking on offense, and they've now won 4 straight games. And even though everything isn't falling exactly into place, you know, they're still putting up some really nice games. And when guys like Jimmy Butler or Karl Anthony Towns the night before aren't having amazing games, their offense is still really an unstoppable force, which is scary for the rest of the NBA. I'd appreciate if you guys would subscribe to my YouTube channel, give this video a thumbs up, and if you want, you can follow me on Twitter at Brian Sampson NBA. I hope to see you guys next time.